Zenless Zone Zero's second season started, and the first chapter is definitely a doozy. Despite the slow start, things get a lot better halfway through. You're going to want to see it, believe me. If you don't have the time, the storage space, or you want a good recap, then you clicked on the right video. I'm going to take a 5-hour quest, remove the yapping and exposition, focus on the important parts, and get a 10 or so minute video that is just as good. I'm your friendly Zenless lore enthusiast. I just downed a pack of Red Bulls, which means I'm ready to talk about 2.0's story quest. Previously, Bell and Wise discovered that they have the power to control ether, which is a pretty big deal. They also meet Yishuan, who is a mystic from Yunque Summit. There are reports of abnormal readings inside the Lemnian Hollow. The mayor thought it was a simple production issue, but there was something shocking. What he found was a photograph of Carol Arma deep inside of the hollow. This is the first time that we've seen what Carol actually looks like. Everyone thought she was dead, but they never found the body. Golden rule of fiction, no body, no death. The proxies also notice she's surrounded by miasma, a special class of corruptive matter found in the Lemnian Hollow. Our proxies need to know the truth about their mentor, so they go to investigate. The next day, Yishuan visits the proxies to introduce herself as their master, or Shifu. The siblings are going to learn how to control their ether manipulation abilities. She even gives them both Yunque Summit uniforms, which means RMCs get a regional skin. I prayed for times like these. Oh, and she got insurance policies for the proxies just in case. You never know. Yishuan has everything covered. She even has a temporary HDD set up for them. But one of the siblings has to stay to make sure it works. The proxy you chose goes on an airship to Waifei Peninsula, where it is then shot down by some mercenaries. It's fine, they have insurance. They land inside the Lemnian Hollow and face threats like miasma tumors and miasma-empowered ethereals. They escape the Hollow, hitch a ride on a boat, and arrive in Filum Heights. This is when the proxy meets Zhufufu, who is their senior, in status, not in age. Do not lose the Tiger Thyron, please. Zhufufu takes the proxy around the city. It's a busy mountainous city that uses cable cars. The Waifei Peninsula is known for Porcelume. It's an ether-resistant material that can be used to make weapons like Jane Doe's blades or Evelyn's wires. It's also what Qingyi is made of. The porcelain mines are controlled by a company called Porcelume, which is under TOPS. While exploring the city, they find a group of workers arguing with a TOPS employee. The workers want compensation for a recent accident, but TOPS hasn't given it to them yet. We'll go more into this later, but for now just keep that in mind. The proxy and Zhifufu make it to Suibian Temple, one of the old bases for Yunque Summit. It's a little bit run down and could use some fixing. We meet the rest of Yunque Summit, Yishuan and Fan Yinhu. They're a bunch of silly guys and I love them already. The next day they meet Damian Blackwood, the head of Porcelume. He warns us to avoid the Porcelume production site. Obviously he's up to something, so the proxy investigates what happened. This is when we meet, I'm sorry, I got distracted. We meet, Jesus Christ, Pex. Sorry, I swear I'm looking at, okay. This is set from League of Legends, Komono Monato. He and his friend Paolo personally witnessed the incident. Many of the Porcelume workers were suddenly corrupted and the company tried to hide it. The workers wear anti-corruption suits and take medicine to prevent this from happening. For some reason though, the medicine was the cause of the corruption. The workers want compensation for their medical bills. The next day, the proxy heads into the Hollow and meets with Eric, the head of the Porcelume labor union. He needs help to get proof that Luminex's medicine was at fault so they can get their compensation. Someone named Dr. Lore is helping the union gather evidence. Instead of using the faulty medicine, he's also providing a cheaper anti-corruption medicine. Dr. Lore makes this medicine by using porcelain powder and he calls it alleviating water. The doctor's theory is that Porcelume gave workers a weaker version of the medicine that doesn't prevent corruption. Nobody wants to work in a hollow long term because it increases the risk of being corrupted. The only people that would stay long term are workers that are already corrupted. Porcelume wants to keep its cheap labor force and not give any compensation. The evidence that Lore needs is deep in the Hollow. This is when Yishuan teaches the proxy basic ether manipulation techniques. By controlling ether frequencies, the proxy is able to destroy ether corruptions. We also find Dr. Lore's Bamboo Faith, who leads us to some evidence. We find Dr. Lore surrounded by ethereals. After saving him, we share our findings and create a plan to fight against Porcelume. Some time passes and our sibling made it safely to the temple. Both Xian and Yishuan believe that Tops did not shoot down the aircraft in the start of the chapter. Tops is a business, and directly attacking the mayor's investigators is too stupid of a move. It would put a big target on their back. This is when Damian comes to talk to us, and he's being a little too friendly. He's trying to process compensation for his workers, which contradicts what we were told by Lore. Damian stopped Lore from giving medical treatment to the workers because Lore doesn't have a medical license. Damian claims that Lore spread lies about the company's medicine. Lore also convinced the workers to take his alleviating water instead. As proof, Damian sends us the corruption case files and the compensation progress. Our sibling works to verify the information. The next day, we check on our guy Kamano. Real shit, we're getting back to the plot. Not gonna lie, it was getting a little stale until he showed up. Bro's worried because Paolo went into the Hollow to get anti-corruption treatment from Dr. Lore. He's been investigating the photo, but nothing new. Our sibling tells us that Damian was telling the truth, that he did file for compensation. When the workers drank the alleviating water, they reported seeing strange dreams of their past, their childhood, happy memories, and even loved ones that have passed away. Something feels off, and Yishuan knows why. Alleviating water contains miasma. The effects of miasma include numbness and hallucinations. It feels like it's healing the corruption when it actually isn't. It's a placebo. Lore is the one spreading lies about Tops' medicine not working. By the way, I'm just going to be calling him Lore from now on and not Dr. Lore, because he didn't earn shit. The proxy remembers that Paolo and some workers went into the Hollow to get treatment from Lore, so they go in to save them. We found Paolo, and he's looking really bad.
Save me. Please, save me.
Paolo, what's wrong?
Child, he's dying. Yishuan tries to save him, but it's too late and he turns into an ethereal. As we go deeper into the Hollow, we find more patients in pain, but we also find Lore hanging out with some exaltists. What? The fake doctor that peddles alternative medicine and has a bang boo named Faith is part of a cult? What a surprise. I am shocked. He was using the workers as sacrifices to the creator. We defeat them, but the proxy gets ambushed by an ethereal. Yishuan protects them, but they get hit by miasma. Yishuan is able to heal the proxy, and they both see an illusion. The proxy sees Carol, and Yishuan hears an unknown voice. After recovering at the temple, the proxy decides to investigate Lore's office and finds a flash drive. We run into Kamano, who really wants us to know what a good dad Paolo is. Or, well, was. He's heartbroken by the news and spreads the word that alleviating water is a lie. The proxy gives the flash drive to their sibling, and other members of Yunque Summit have been trying to spread the truth. Unfortunately, the workers are too indoctrinated and nobody believes them. Yishuan wants to check on us, and the proxy describes what they saw when they were affected by miasma. When the proxy was under the illusion, everything felt peaceful and warm. It's like a warm bed in winter. It's the call of a siren. There was a force trying to lower the proxy deeper into the Hollow. The proxy also saw part of Yishuan's memories. Yishuan was affected by miasma in the past, but she didn't have the same blissful experience that the proxy felt. Instead, her illusions were cold and cruel. The person that the proxy saw in Yishuan's memories was Yizhiang, the former high preceptor, and her sister. Yishuan tries to continue her story, but is interrupted by a disaster outside. Chaos has taken over the city. People are being corrupted by miasma on a large scale. There are too many people to cure, so Yishuan gives her disciples a talisman to place at a location. Yishuan uses a technique that removes the miasma from the people. It turns into one giant mass that Yishuan is able to destroy. Using powerful magic comes with a price, and she's feeling the side effects. To remove the miasma, Yishuan had to absorb it. The miasma made her remember the day the old capital fell. Yunque Summit was sent on a mission to defend the city, except Yishuan was the only survivor. Everyone, including her sister, had sacrificed their lives to save the city. The next day, Eric from the Workers' Union comes to update us on the situation. The workers still believe that Tops is behind everything. Some members of the union were secretly exaltists that maintain the agenda. Damian then calls us to tell us that he's going to provide anti-corruption treatment, and he wants to use Suiben Temple to manage its distribution. The craziest part is, he's doing this for free. Okay, time out. Lore being the bad guy was not a twist. It was pretty obvious. I mean, look at him. The top's representative not being a villain, but even being a kinda good guy is way more surprising. That being said, I still don't trust him. He's gonna pull something in the future. Watch, I'm right. Alright, time in. While Eric and the others distribute the medicine, our sibling analyzes the flash drive. The sibling confirms that the exaltists were responsible for the miasma outbreaks. They had even sabotaged the Porcelume's medicine so that it wouldn't work. The evidence that the proxy found in the hollow was also used to manipulate the masses. Luckily, the sibling was able to locate where the exaltists are hiding. We take the others and head into the hollow. Yishuan is still resting, so xuan stays behind. With Jifufu and Panyinhu's help, the proxy finds Lore, but it's a trap. They beat his trap, but Lore heads deep into the miasma and injects himself with a serum and turns into an ethereal. He also mentions a great overseer. We cut to a CG and we see an exaltist talking to the great overseer. Even though we disrupted their gathering points, they're still trying to perform a ritual. We cut back to the temple and Yishuan is finally awake. She confides in us and tells the proxy about her sister. They both grew up poor and were raised by Yunquei Summit. Their lives change because of the Qingming sword. This is a relic that gives the wielder the ability of a void hunter for a brief period. It's given to the High Preceptor as a symbol of their position. The sword has one major setback. If used too often, it takes your memories and senses until you die. And this is how Yishuan's mentor had died. Someone in the Zenless team really likes cursed swords. Yizhang promised that she wouldn't make the same mistake, but when the old capital fell, she broke that promise. When Yishuan had returned to Weifei Peninsula, she saw all the people that her sister had saved. On that day, she swore to protect them so her sister's sacrifice wouldn't be in vain. Now that everybody's motivated, it's time to take down the exaltists. The exaltists convince more workers to protest inside the hollow. Yunquei Summit manages to save the workers and clear out some of the miasma. Fairy then senses some unusual energy signals. The exaltists were performing a ritual to turn people into miasma. The proxy takes a video of the ritual and convinces the remaining workers to leave. The proxy investigates the exaltist base and finds a device that they think might be controlling the miasma, but it's not clear. Everybody heads deeper into the ritual site and confronts the Exaltist Overseer. The Overseer uses the miasma to power up. Yishuan defends everybody from a massive miasma attack and starts to see an illusion. This time, she sees her sister and hears her last words. I'm not going to do it justice, so I'll just let the scene play.
Please, tell my sister.
Or a memory.
Her big sister isn't selfless, nor great. If I don't put an end to this disaster tonight, my Yishuan will be shattered along with Eridu.
Yizhang.
What I'm doing isn't to save the world. It's just to save her. My Yishuan.
This moment of closure gives Yishuan the power to defeat the Overseer. And so Yunquei Summit has saved the day, but there's still some loose ends. Damian gives us a call to congratulate us. He tells us that he's going to negotiate with the higher-ups to get resources to strengthen management across the Porcelume sector. He was definitely using this disaster for his own benefit. Our sibling used Fairy to search the hollow for any trace of Carol, but nothing was found. There's also some doubt that the photo is even real, but the proxies are going to take this investigation one step at a time. The last scene of the chapter shows Sarah with other exaltists. The Overseer emerges out of this large miasmic orb. A special looking ethereal is revealed that looks a little too much like Yizhang for my liking. But that's the end of chapter 1 of season 2. There were a lot of new things introduced. If this recap was helpful, let me know in the comments below. I'll see you guys next time.